Well, hello, this is Tuesday Dawkins from Tarnished and Tattered, and we've got several projects today that we're going to work on. I'm going to show you some things for spring because now that Christmas and the holidays is over, now we've got January, February, March, some dreary months, and so we might as well be working on some really cool things for our house to brighten it up and feel like spring is on the way. So we're going to be making some moss balls to decorate with, some enamel layered tier canisters, some cake plates, and some candle holders. So take notes or watch, and I hope you enjoy and like what we get ready to make. We're going to start with candle holders. Now these are white, and I've painted a couple of them just for time's sake, but I go to Goodwill, yard sales, Salvation Army, and pick up the old wooden, you can even do the brass, candlesticks that you can get for 50 cents or $1. You bring them home, you paint them whatever color you want, and then you can decide if you want to distress, leave them this way, or stain them. So the possibilities are limitless, whatever you like for your home. I'm doing a lot of white and pastels because of spring, and I'm wanting to feel like summer and spring is on the way, even though we've still got a couple of months. But that's why everything looks so white and bright on the table. But before Christmas and all that, I did a lot of black and black distressed, and I really like that in my kitchen. So the thing is, you just need to find the height that you like, a style you like, and something that you would want to use as the topper. Now we're going to make these into like a candle holder, but they don't actually have to be limited to that. We're going to put some actual moss balls, candles. You can put little bunny rabbits, eggs, Easter eggs, whatever you want to in it. It is your preference. So I found this old pie pan, and I just think it looks really neat. I love that it's kind of got a little bit of a rust on it, and I love that it has the name of the pie place on there. So I decided that I'm going to use this one for the round plate. What we do on this is you find the center, which this one's going to be really easy to find the center because it has a star. And of course this is ready to go. I spray painted these ahead of time. You can use chalk paint. I used chalk paint on a couple that I'll show you in a little bit. Again, preference. So we know the middle of this one. Now on this glue here, this is essential to any crafter. You can get it at Walmart or hardware store, but this is industrial strength glue. Works better than hot glue because it doesn't get cold and then break off. But it is a really strong glue. You want to be liberal, but not too liberal, because if you do, it will really squish out, and then you'll have a mess that you'll need to try to clean up. So as you've gotten that on there, you place it in the center. Make sure you got it centered. Standing up over it will help you. Another thing to do is, as I was getting so many projects together, I put them together, and then in an hour, I've forgotten which candlestick after I painted it goes with which enamel or which pan. So I always mark on the bottom. So this had a little 1 on the bottom of the pan, and this candlestick has a 1 on it. So we're just going to leave this for a while and let that dry, set up. Now, for purposes on time again, we won't get to see that completely set up, but we will get to see what it looks like. I set this one up, get to it, but I left it, I did not paint it on purpose so that you would be able to see what kind of odd pieces you can put together. Now this was one of the brass candlesticks, and then just an old wooden bowl. So I will spray paint this. You won't be able to distress the bottom because of the metal, But if you want to do a little distressing, you might be able to get some of that. And then you can fill this with just moss and eggs and little grapevine balls, anything like that. So we're going to do the same thing with the square pan. Again, love the patina, a little bit of rust, a little bit of grain, kind of a cute little pan. Again, we're going to put this on the top of the candlestick. And these things are being made, you know, they will look like something that you could go to a craft store and spend $15, $20 on, maybe more, 25. Whereas I believe these candlesticks, most of them were 50 cents, and the pans were usually $1 or so. Again, I've got my little number on there. Some of the bigger pieces we'll measure, like that I measured. Another piece I'll show you that I did ahead of time. And we're going to let that dry for a little bit. Now with these two little ones, I wanted to kind of show you, these are painted with chalk paint. And I'm going to do a little bit of distressing with that. So I'm going to use a fine grade sandpaper. And some people are like, well, how do you know how much distressing? You can't go wrong. If you get too much, you can always go back and repaint it. So the main thing is to do the edges. So we're going to start with this little edge on the base. Some people like to use coarse, more coarse paper. It makes me nervous. I like to go a little bit finer. That way I have a little more control. There's also another ridge here, so I'm not going to take all of it off of that ridge though. Be selective. And around the bottom. All right, now then, we're going to apply a porcelain or a china plate on top of this. So I want to make sure that we have enough character down here. So again, right where it's protruding, that's where you'll want to get most of your distressing. And then a little bit right here on the edge. And most of this will not probably show, but we're going to give it a little bit up here. Details are what really makes your project yours. Again, it would be how much or how little that you like. A lot of people get all caught up and they can't do it right, but it's all about what you like. And even though I do some resale, you know, I've found people like what I like. And if they don't, then they won't buy it. They'll go somewhere else. So do it the way you like it. Don't worry about if it's right or wrong. I think that's enough on the little blue one. So now we're going to do this. This is a celery color. That was pool color. This one doesn't have quite the ridge, but it's rounded. I'm still going to do the same. And this is a work table, so don't do these kind of projects just on your kitchen table. This used to be my kitchen table, but it went through a lot of love through all my children. So now it's my work area. I do put newspaper down when I'm painting or something like that. But for this, we're good. These will be adorable at Easter. Put little candies on, a couple little cupcakes, because these are small plates. I opted for small plates. They're the smaller ones. If you wanted to do plate one, and I do have a couple plates that we're going to show, you could have used these, but I went with the lighter weight 10 just so they're not top heavy. And again, these, I have collected these from secondhand stores, thrift stores, and yard sales. All right. Now I could have kind of made these a mixed matched pair and did them the same color, but I decided I wanted to show you two different colors. However, the plates are the exact same. Now, again, we're going to do the same thing that we did before with the glue. Also, make sure that you always pre-wash any dishes or pans that you're going to be using. It's really good to take rubbing alcohol and go over everything first. Stickers and gunk that gets on there, it'll take all that off, and just really rub that on there, and price tags and everything like that. It'll take that off, and then, you know, either wash them by hand or wash them in your dishwasher, because a lot of times things won't stick as good if it's got all that crud on them. And then sure enough, you'll be painting something sometime and you'll think it's all good, and you'll see an old sticky price tag, and then you'll have to redo that. But let me tell you, there's been plenty of times I get in a hurry. I get excited about a project and I'm like, oh, I want to get it done. So I understand sometimes that happens. Okay, again, this has kind of got a decal in the middle of each plate, so it's easy to find our center. So we just place it right on the center, push down. And because these are going to be heavier on the top, I'm going to let them dry, top up, and just kind of eye them. And push down. Now those are really small, but at the same time they'd be really cute with, you know, the little mini cupcakes or little Rice Krispie treat, bird nest. I mean, all kinds of things. Or just put jelly beans on the top, or the robin eggs for Easter. It's gonna make a really cute little decoration for your table. We will let those dry. I'm going to get this one out of our way and go with something that I did ahead of time. I found this beautiful robin egg plate at Goodwill, and I had already had this base and had it painted and everything, just waiting for the right situation. So last night I went ahead and showed you what one would be like. So you could put a whole cake, pie, and see, it's safe to show you that, and that's heavy. That's very heavy. That would be beautiful for your table. Be a centerpiece if you didn't want to use it for food, but because this is a microwave safe and a dishwasher safe plate, you can serve food on it. Now, if you were using something that was you'd painted, you would have to put wax paper, parchment paper, something like that down. But when you use an official real plate, you don't have to worry about that, and you can actually use it as a serving. Let's go ahead and make a few more and I'll show you how we're going to decorate them. Here's another one. This I found for $1. It was black. And I thought, oh, I've got some beautiful plates at home that I just want to prepare for all the goodies. And so again, I'm just trying to give you an idea that there are so many different styles of this. This one, I mean, you can serve on this one, but this one would really be pretty as a decorative, like coffee table, when we get ready and make the moss balls and have the moss hanging off the edge. Okay. Again, it's always nice when they have like a little decal on them, so it's easier to find center. Got your glue. When I first found out how to do this, I thought, why hadn't I thought about this a long, long time ago? Instead of going and buying cake plates, and lots of times you'll have the domes, or you can find the domes at a thrift store, but the base is broken. So for a cake dome, here you go. You can replace it and have your own individual one. And we're going to leave that one sitting because this was metal. This is not, or it's actually a kind of a plastic, a hard plastic. So we're going to let that one dry. And then every once in a while you'll find one that's really easy. I didn't have to paint or anything, but I found this perfect plate. It says, "Sing unto the Lord, sing, for he hath done excellent things. This is known in all the earth." Isaiah 12:5. It's got the beautiful bluebird, and I just thought, again, spring, Easter. I love this color blue. And then this was just a little vase that I found, so I thought, well, that would be great. Another cute cookie plate, cake plate. So I thought I'd show you that sometimes you don't have to do any preparation other than cleaning it and rubbing it down with alcohol, washing it and drying it. And these are both ceramic. That's what's really good also about this kind of glue, is it works on wood, metal, glass, plastic, and cloth. All right. Oh, and on this one I noticed that there is like a dark part on the back of it, so I wanted to make sure that I did not put that in the very front. So I'm going to be putting that in the back, which most plates wouldn't have a front and back. Because this has the bird on it, I wanted to hide that just a little bit. It's not bad enough. It just gives it character. And I did it wrong. So, see how you make mistakes? Everybody does. So I'm going to put it, take it off, and redo it. Check again. Bird. Just like that. You know, I was thinking before we started filming about, oh, make sure everything's right, make sure everything's perfect. But how often do we start crafting and everything goes perfect? For me, anyway, it doesn't. And that's part of learning what works for you, what works best. And sometimes a surprise mistake turns into a great new item. There we go. So there, we got the more white part in the front with the bird facing this way. So that is a gorgeous piece that looks like you spent quite a bit of money for a cake plate. All right, one more before we turn our whole idea of what we're doing and start to decorate some of these little candlesticks and pie plates. So this one was like one of the old enamel mugs, and when I found it, the cup holder was broke off of it. And I thought, but you know, I love this gray, and I didn't think it was something that we should just throw away. And so what better to do than to make a candle holder out of it. You start doing this, you notice at all the stores, all the different candle holders and glass pieces and everything, and you're like, oh, I can make something out of that. And you get so excited. You have new decor in your house all the time at a very inexpensive way of changing decor. Now, I'm going to go ahead, I think this candle will work in it, and show you, even though it's not dry, kind of what I was talking about. If you can use all the mosses and different types of shrubbery and stuff that's out there. We're going to use some of the preserved moss in a little bit, but this stuff here is just a little bit softer. So I'm going to put my candle in here, and again, I wish it was already dry, but it's not, so we're going to work with it. This is just going to be kind of filler. And then the more realistic moss. And this is one of those candles that, not real, it's battery operated. So let me turn it on. And you could even maybe raise that up a little bit. Let's do that just so you can see the light a little bit better. And you just keep playing with it. And you got you a new little candle holder. So that is one idea. And when you're over the top of it, you can kind of see the moss just adds such a spring look to it. Now this I wouldn't glue down, I mean, because you could always then change for Christmas or Thanksgiving. So I wouldn't glue these things on here. But you can take this preserved moss and apply it however you like. And I'm going to show you, we're going to make some of these moss balls here. I don't want to put too much weight on it, although these are styrofoam, because it's not completely dry. And then again, decorate it with little bunnies, Easter eggs, rocks, twigs, whatever you want. And that adds so much spring color to your home with the bright green color. And the whole project is just dollars, you know, just a few dollars. Now, these things are extremely expensive in the stores. I wasn't sure why they were so high in the stores until I started buying all of my supplies to make them. And then I realized, wow, styrofoam balls are expensive and preserved moss is fairly expensive. But you can still make it for a fraction of what it would be to buy them already made. So I've got this moss out. It comes in a package like this. I got this at Walmart, but I know that you can get, you know, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, all the different craft stores. There's so many different sizes of styrofoam balls. Get these for a package of 2 for $4 or $5. This one was $4.50. And then there's a package of these, and I don't remember how much they were. But just for time's sake, we're going to do one of the smaller ones. We're going to start with smaller pieces, and it's a little thick, so I pull a little bit of the under moss off. Don't need all of that. So we're going to spray about 1/3 of our styrofoam ball liberally. And I like to put a little bit on the moss too. Push it down and hold it for a while. See how that sticks? So we're just going to keep going around. Again, don't get stressed out about this. The more you make, the better you'll get. It's a trial and error, believe me. Just kind of press it together until it kind of starts to stick. I've fallen in love with this stuff, and I think for Easter I'm going to make some of the resurrection gardens. I think those will be like really awesome in the bowls, and you have the cave and with the moss. And then even I've seen the little fairy gardens, and I love them too. So I think those, you know, you start doing things and your mind gets going with more and more ideas. Kind of makes you get excited about spring, working on spring projects. And you'll take a little bit of this leftover stuff and just kind of stick it in those holes. We have one more bigger hole here. Now then, after we've got it covered, your hands will be covered too. And that's where the sealant comes in. This kind of helps hold it all together. So we'll spray. That. Let it dry just for a tiny bit. But as you can see, several of these different sizes, and styrofoam balls come in all different sizes, so you could do small, and there was even larger ones. I mean, there was some that big. It would take a lot of moss to cover, but these look great sitting in bowls and pedestals in your house. So now that we've done the cake plates and that type of thing, and the candlesticks, I'm going to show you some enamelware where these would really, really look awesome as centerpieces for your table.